Hi everyone, thank you for joining us today for our webinar, Dynamics GP to D365 Business Central Migration Office Hours. My name is Katie and I'll be the facilitator today. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the question area in the control panel on the right-hand side of your screen and we'll answer questions at the end. This session will be recorded and posted on our blog as well as shared with you later this week. Now, I would like to introduce our presenter today, Tracey Santos, practice lead of our account management team here at Encore. Tracey, I'll pass it over to you.
Thank you so much, Katie, and welcome everyone. We're starting this Business Central Migration Office Hours for our Dynamics GP customers, and we're going to have different topics. So again, if there's something you'd like to learn more about, please let us know so that we can present that in one of our upcoming sessions. But today we're going to be talking about the Business Central Migration Assessment. For those of you that have got our communications in the prior months, this is actually was originally called the AIM program. It's been out for about a year, and it was launched by Microsoft to assist customers and partners to start a conversation about migrating from their on-prem applications to a cloud application. So it's been renamed on October 1st. It got a new name, just like Microsoft, right? They're always wanting to change names and make new acronyms, but it's now called the Business Central Migration Assessment. So today's session, just going to take up a few minutes and we're going to, excuse me, we're going to have an overview of the assessment and then just some additional information as well. So let's go through this. So again, starting your journey to the cloud with a baseline technical and functional review of your current on-premise solution, along with specific recommendations and considerations. So deliverables include a final presentation that documents insights, analysis, and recommendations for moving to Dynamics 365 in the cloud. The business objectives overview as well. So for example, what are your business objectives? What do you want to accomplish? An ISV overview with recommendations. So if you have add-on products, the technical dependencies and recommendation on migration next steps. Some of the objectives include understanding the benefits of moving from an older on-premise solution to the cloud, identify business objectives and tie those into the functionality of Dynamics 365 Cloud, as well as all the other Microsoft technologies that seamlessly integrate and work with Business Central. Also learning how to optimize the migration process with a focus on reducing effort and costs. So again, it's comprised of those three parts: functional assessment. Hey, what's your current state? What's your desired state? Then we go into a technical evaluation, kind of looking up about your Dynamics GP deployment and the surrounding technologies that are there and what is it going to migrate to when you move to the cloud, and then recommendations and next steps. So what will we learn? Well, we're going to take a deep dive in understanding the benefits and impact that cloud migration will have on your organization, so all of your team members. Who should attend? So we like to invite all the key stakeholders and decision makers from across your business to participate. So anyone that really is not only necessarily today leveraging GP, but anyone who's involved in the applications within the organization. For example, let's say your CEO saying, great, we want to protect ourselves from security risks. What does that look like? So again, that ties into much more than just how the users today are using Dynamics GP, for sure. So again, we want to make sure we get the right audience there and those decision makers and people that have a stake in the business and looking forward. So what happens after? So we're envisioning your future state, review the assessment findings, and receive next steps and recommendations. So again, it is an assessment and there's a start and an end point, but then there are, again, various things that we lay out as what's going to happen over the next few weeks after the engagement is completed. So it's not just something that ends, we continue on with that as well. So what does the process look like? Well, there's a kickoff meeting. So that's the project team, and we outline the roles and responsibilities. It's the migration assessment overview to give you a high-level overview about that, the timeline, the action items and next steps. Then we go into the discovery and analysis. So again, we're going to work with you to examine your current business processes, examining the use of Dynamics on-premise system components, including existing configuration, customizations, and integrations. So again, you might have some customizations, you might have some integrations to other applications that you're using for your business. Also reporting. So there's operational reporting and there's financial reporting. So we want to be able to look at that as well. And then there's the Business Central Migration Assessment presentation. So again, we go over the business objectives overview, tying them back to Dynamics 365 and Microsoft functionality with the objective of standardizing or reducing customizations and complexity through out-of-the-box features. We look at all the add-on products and give you recommendations for cloud alternatives, or perhaps that functionality can be replaced out of the box with Business Central. So we're looking at that, looking forward. What's your desired state? What do you want to do? And all of the value and business benefits that open up from moving to the Microsoft Cloud. So again, technical dependencies and recommendations for integrations, database, custom code, processing, reporting, licensing, and etc. So that is in the final presentation. And then there's the migration next steps are provided to you as well. So again, this is complementary. It typically, takes us from start to finish about 4 to 6 weeks, again, depending on the complexity. It is complementary. It is for a limited time that we have this offer out to our Dynamics GP customer base. And again, this is a very exciting time to look at Dynamics 365 Business Central. There's so much coming out from Microsoft. I don't know if you guys have been watching lately, all the different Dynamics 365 Business Central co-pilots that again add value. So again, when we think about our day-to-day work, and if we could reduce that effort that we have to put into it even by 10%, how that actually increases our profitability as well as our employee satisfaction, because those mundane tasks can be automated. So it's a very, very exciting time. So that's an overview about the Business Central Migration Assessment. We've been having great conversations with our customers so far that have gone through this process. And so again, we're really looking forward to doing this with you as well. There's a lot of chatter out there on LinkedIn and social media and coming out from ISVs, etc., about Dynamics GP now that the announcement's been made. So again, I wanted to just clarify some things and just, again, simply stated, we as a partner, we've always been a Microsoft partner right from the very beginning, and we're dedicated to your business success. That's what we're all about. And it's not about, hey, that the announcement, we've been communicating with you and providing lots of great resources. I don't know if you've checked out our website lately, but we have so much great content there to help you, to educate you on this journey. But we've been saying for a long time, it's not about the fact that there's been an announcement made about that on-prem application, Dynamics GP, but about the fact of how do we enable your business? What technologies do you want to take advantage of? So, we hear a lot out there, this chatter saying, you don't have to move off of GP and uh, but it's not about that. It's about what's best for your business. I wouldn't go and meet a brand new client today and recommend them to buy an on-premise solution. I just wouldn't do that. We wouldn't do that as a partner. We're dedicated again to your success and always evaluating what's new in technology and what's out there and what's available for you. And for those of you that were at my last webinar, it's like, if you're going to buy a new system, you start a new company today, those are the choices that you probably would make. It's like, okay, great, you're already using Microsoft 365. I don't think we have clients still today that have those on-prem applications. There's a plethora of benefits of being in a modern workplace, and that's what we want to educate you about. And again, clear up some of that chatter that we're hearing out there. It's all about what's best for your business. And again, technology is that's where we come in. whatever business you're in, you're an expert in that business. And we're a technology partner. We've always been a Microsoft partner. And again, our entire history, 30 years of history, has been about investing in you as a customer and what's best for you. And yeah, 30 years ago when we were selling Dynamics GP on-prem, that was a fantastic solution, and it's been a very good solution for you. And it's helped your business grow, and now it's time to take that next step. So I'm just including a few slides that we did include from our previous webinar about the announcement, but again, looking at that life cycle. So again, we've got MLP, which is the modern life cycle policy for those if you're on GP 18.x, that's where you're sitting. If you're on, for example, GP 2013, 2015, 2016, 2018, there is your fixed life cycle there for that, just to bring that to our attention again, just so that we're aware of that. Some of our promotions, and again, we talked about this one. This is what this webinar was about, Business Central Migration Assessment. There's also a Bridge to Cloud 2 promotion. So that's when you do your annual maintenance for Dynamics GP, you actually get licensing for Business Central. So again, you dual use licensing for just paying your regular annual maintenance. So again, you get, it's a way to start that journey and get moving on to the cloud. There's also some incentives from a deployment when we're doing the implementation to give you some relief there. And we have some programs that are specifically geared to those smaller Dynamics GP customers, and they're called the Accelerator Program. And again, lots and lots of great things that you'll be able to take advantage of as you move forward on this journey. Just some of the quotes that we've gotten from some of our clients that we've transitioned from Dynamics GP over to Business Central. Eric making a great comment there about that process. And then we also have Maria, again, really, really great. She's had such a great experience and how much benefit they're getting out of Business Central. So there, another quote from her. I think we had a different quote on last session. All right, so I'll open it up if there is any questions. Katie, can you let me know if there's any questions, please?
Of course, Tracy. So if anyone does have any questions, please enter them into the question area in the control panel. But I do have one here to start off, and that
Awesome.
is, if we're not going to move to Business Central until 2026, should we do the assessment now?
Fantastic. Well, when you think about 2026, it's really just around the corner. That's just over a year away. So I would say yes, definitely take advantage of the migration assessment because it's going to kind of set you up on the beginning step of that journey. Because when you go through that and you say, great, awesome, total cost of ownership makes sense to me. I want to make this investment. I want to move forward. Here's all the business value that it's going to bring to me. And then you're going to start your project and you say, okay, I want to go live in 2026. That time comes around really quickly. So it's a great time to do your migration assessment for sure. Absolutely. Great question. Thank you.
Tracy. Okay, the next one here is, I think you touched on it a bit earlier, but some ISV communications say that we don't have to move off of GP. Is that true?
You know, it's interesting. We still, we're working with clients that are on older versions of GP, and I guess it's, and I've talked about this before, it's like, the surrounding technology for GP, will that be able to sustain that? And it's not about whether GP is going to be here or not. It's about what technology is best aligned with your business. So for example, when people are saying, well, I want to do this, or I want to leverage this technology, and then you're like, well, we can't because we're on an on-premise solution and we're using GP. Again, not that it was a very good solution for its time. And I often, I want to look at those comments and when people are communicating out, you don't have to do this or you don't have to do that. Well, no one's forcing you to do anything, but truly that messaging is coming from a place of protecting that business, or are they really have your best interests at heart? So again, it's a time to look at it and say, does it make sense for me? And my team, I just hired, 3 or 4 people that are, just coming out of post-secondary and entering the workforce, and they don't know what on-premise software is. So again, we don't want to hold our team members back. We want to encourage them. We want them to excel, and we don't want to lose that younger workforce to go work for a company that's more forward thinking from their technology perspective. So again, I I'd love to have those conversations with clients to say, okay, why would you stay on it, regardless of what everyone else in the world is saying? What do you want to do as a business? So it's difficult because everyone has a different perception, but I would, and again, I think we want to support that. We want to support choice, and we want to, again, we've got lots and lots of evidence that shows how that from a business process, moving to these cloud-based solutions adds so much value. We've just got a great new tool from Microsoft taking us through the total cost of ownership with our clients. So yeah, it's again, Katie, it's hard for me to speak passionately about my own personal perspective on that question, but yeah, I'd love to have those conversations. And again, we've been encouraging you and educating you all for 6 years. Um, and it again, it's not whether GP is going to stop working tomorrow or not. It's what's best for your business.
That's a great answer. Thanks, Tracy. Um, Next one I have here is how much time is involved from our organization in the assessment?
Great question. We got the kickoff meeting. That's typically half an hour to an hour. The discovery and analysis, the participation from your team, typically 4 to 6 hours. Again, it depends on the business and how complex the business is. And then we have the final presentation can be about an hour. So overall, 10 to 15 hours, I guess, would be fair to say.
Have other Encore customers participated in this assessment?
Yes, actually, we're moving along at a good pace. I'd say about 5% of our customer base has participated so far. What ends up happening is they get excited and they get started into it, and then all of a sudden, other people internally want to participate, and then there's some scheduling challenges. But yeah, no, it's been well accepted for sure. And I think we were recognized as being one in the top 10% of partners in North America for working with our customer base on these programs. So that was very exciting.
That's exciting. Next one I have here, Tracy, is are we committed to anything if we do the assessment?
Absolutely not, although I highly encourage you to do something after that. But yeah, doing the migration assessment is all about giving you information to, navigate your growth going forward. But there's not, you don't have to, do a project that next quarter. Absolutely not. It's something that's mutually beneficial for all of your team as well as Encore, and make sure that we're giving you the best information and setting a project timeline for you going forward and with steps on what you're going to do next. But no, there's no obligation.
What happens if we stay on GP past the end date of 2029?
Gee, if I only had a crystal ball. Um, unsupported, and again, from an infrastructure perspective, if the infrastructure cannot support GP anymore or you can't access that, there's really nothing you could do. To me, it's the risk far outweighs any benefit of staying on GP past 2029, or if we're, even before that. But I I don't know what's going to happen. Um, but we've seen as technology changes and moves forward and improves, that there are things that don't work as anticipated in Dynamics GP. Again, Dynamics GP on-prem works on a SQL database. Um, if the SQL database isn't compatible and not functioning with the infrastructure, there, to me, it's just too much risk, for sure.
I see. So what would happen after we do the assessment? And I guess with that is training, support, is that all provided?
So the assessment is basically going to provide you with a roadmap of what it would look like to do a migration. So again, it would be if you wanted to move forward or when you're going to move forward, we would start a project. And some of the things that we've talked about before, great, all my GP history, I can have that available to me in Business Central. We would do an implementation with your team of Business Central, and then an appropriate cut over, you'd go live on Business Central and you wouldn't have to access GP anymore. And that's something I think is super important to a lot of GP customers is they want their history. So again, that's something that right out of the gate, we make sure people know that. And we were one of the first partners to take on NAV in North America, and NAV is the background of Business Central. So again, we've got a whole team of consultants and implementers and support people that focus solely on Business Central. So you're in good hands.
Great. I don't see any other questions that have come in.
Okay, I'll just go to my
Is
next
there,
slide. So I was just going to say, connect with your account manager to book your complimentary assessment. And you know, Katie and the whole team at Encore there for our online content, just tons and tons of great content. And you know, we have our own YouTube channel that talks specifically showing you, hey, you used to do this in GP, this is how you're going to do it in Business Central. As well as Microsoft has a whole channel as well showing you, hey, you're a GP customer, this is how you do this in Business Central. So much great content. I encourage you to go check it out.
Tracy? So I'm going to add a link to our events page in the chat because we do have two upcoming office hours sessions that Tracy will be hosting before the year ends. So go ahead and share that. You can also check out previous webinars or register for our other upcoming sessions. I'm also going to add a link where you can set your email preferences and opt into our emails so that you can stay in the know about upcoming events and see our latest blog articles.
Great. Thank you so much, Katie.
Thank you, Tracy, for the information today, and thank you everyone for joining us. I hope you have a great rest of your
Have a
day.
great, yeah, have a great day.